Coming to the state next, y'all know who it is. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the cannabis industry's very own Kaiser Brose, Jason Beck.
Oh, yeah, Rico. Good morning. I hope everyone is having an amazing day because guess what? It's Thursday. We're almost at Friday, you guys. We just have 48 hours left. But I'll tell you what, today I have a bit of good news. And, Gretchen, I think you're going to find this a little interesting because an Alaska court system rule change will remove hundreds of marijuana convictions from Courtview, which is the court system that they have in Alaska. On May 1st, the Alaska court system will remove the marijuana possession convictions of about 750 Alaskans from Courtview, the state's online database of court cases. The Alaska Supreme Court announced the move in an order signed on January 31st by the court's 5 justices. The action, first publicized Sunday by the Alaska Landmine, follows years of similar unsuccessful legislative efforts to join a nationwide trend. In a quote, "I'm glad that the Supreme Court has ordered this," said Senator Scott Kawasaki, Democrat from Fairbanks. "The records will still be available for inspection at courthouses and will be discoverable by a formal criminal background check, but they won't be easy to find for the general public. The removal covers only people who were 21 or older when they committed the offense of possessing an ounce or less of marijuana. The conviction can't be associated with another crime." Nancy Mead, general counsel for the Alaska court system, declined an interview request on behalf of the Supreme Court justices who approved the new order. Mead said the charge originated with the administrative staff and was considered by the justices under normal procedures. In a quote, "Given that marijuana has been legal for 8 years, it appeared to the Supreme Court that this was an appropriate time not to have the court said that this was an appropriate time not to have people, as I say, suffer the negative consequences that can come from having your name posted on Courtview because the conduct is considered legal right now," she said. As states legalize adult use cannabis cultivation and use, they also are considering whether to expunge, seal, or otherwise obscure the criminal records of people who were convicted of marijuana-related crimes before legalization. A criminal record could prevent someone from getting a job or housing, and obscuring marijuana records may prevent that problem for people convicted of nonviolent marijuana offenses. In another quote, "A lot of folks in my district, they have these barriers that are put in place, and a simple rule change, policy change, legislation could change it for their entire lives," said Representative Steve Wright, a Republican from Anchorage. In 2019 alone, Illinois, New Hampshire, Nevada, and Washington all passed legislation obscuring marijuana-related convictions. Altogether, 41 states have some form of legalization, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures, and Alaska isn't one of those states. Despite a bipartisan push last year in 2022, the state house voted 30-8 to approve a bill to conceal marijuana convictions from Courtview and criminal background searches, but the measure failed to pass the Senate before the legislative session ended. A similar bill will also be proposed by Senator Mike Shower, Republican from Wausalia. Wright introduced the bill last year and already has 5 Democratic and independent co-sponsors. He said on Tuesday that he is still considering whether the bill is needed and a law may be necessary, he said, in order to prevent a future court from reversing the rule change. Senator Loki Tobin, Democrat from Anchorage, said her office is also considering a bill of its own. In addition to providing more surety, a bill could reach further than a simple court rule change. The court system is in charge of Courtview, which allows it to exclude marijuana convictions without a state law under Administrative Rule Number 40. It already excludes more than a dozen categories of items, such as stalking, domestic violence, protective order requests, and it can't change the rules for criminal background checks, which Wright's bill would also cover. That bill has yet to receive a hearing, but it's identical to the one that failed to pass last year. And officials of the Department of Public Safety said as many as 8,500 cases would need to be examined to determine whether they are covered by that bill. Well, I'll tell you what, this to me sounds a lot like what Joe Biden did with his pardons. Pretty much is just taking it out of court, and only a few people are going to benefit. But you know what? Good for them, because they're going to have a brighter tomorrow. And this is Jason Beck reporting for High at 9 News. What do y'all think about this?